Hello, Year 7. There is a starter on your screen. It's based on the last lesson. So put the following in the right order, starting with the simplest. You have organs, cells, organism, tissues, and organ system. They are not in the right order. So pause the video now and try and see if you can get them right. Okay, the answers are cells, tissues, organs, organ system, and organism. Well done if you got the answers right. So welcome to week 8, lesson 2. We are looking at our skeleton for this lesson. Learning outcomes, you should be able to describe the structure of the skeleton and explain the functions of the skeletal system. So what are bones? Well, bone is a living tissue with a blood supply. It grows and changes all the time, and it can repair itself when damaged. Obviously, your bones have grown much longer compared to when you were a baby. Calcium and other minerals make the bone strong but slightly flexible. So what is a skeleton? All the bones join together to form a skeleton. The average adult human skeleton has 206 bones. Can you name some of them? Okay, so these are the names of some of the bones in the body. You have the tibia, which is one of the bones in the legs. It's the one that forms your shin. You have the fibula. You have the femur, which is the bone you find in your thigh. You've got your pelvis, your radius, and your ulna. Your radius is the bone that is on the top of your arm, and the ulna is the one underneath. The way I remember it is the letter R comes before the letter U. So R on top, U at the bottom. Then you've got the humerus bone, which is between your shoulder and your collarbone and what some people call your funny bone, which you find in your elbow. And another way I remember the name of this bone is when you're laughing, your shoulders obviously, if you're laughing really hard, your shoulders move. So your humerus bone is attached to your shoulder and it's between your collarbone and your elbow, funny bone. So that's one way to remember it. If you find another way to remember some of these names, all well and good. So you've got your collarbone, you've got your skull, your jawbone, your sternum, which is like the middle of your ribs. You've got your ribs, you've got your backbone or your vertebrae or your spine, and also you've got your ankle. You know, we said that there are 206 bones in an adult human body. So these are just a few of them. Now, why do we need a skeleton? Mr. Arrow is going to demonstrate. And so have a look at him showing you where these bones are in the body. Year 7, you have looked at cells with Mr. LePage, and last lesson we looked at tissues and organs and organ systems. Today we're looking at the skeleton. You need to be able to describe the function and structure of a skeleton. The bones in the body make up the skeleton. There are 206 bones in an adult human body. The skeleton is made up of living tissue with a blood supply. That's the bones in the skeleton. And the bones are joined together to form a framework. So as you can see here, there are lots and lots of different pieces of bones that make up human frame. The skeleton has four main functions. The first one is that it supports the body. So if you didn't have a skeleton, you'd be like a jellyfish basically, and you would not, you just drop on the floor. And it also helps to protect the organs. It helps with movement, and it helps to make red blood cells. So if we look at that in different stages, so it supports the organs. So if you look at the rib cage here, obviously you should remember that in your rib cage you have your lungs, you have your heart. So that's one of the things that the skeleton does, and it protects your organs as well. It also, like if you look at the skull, the bones in the skull are fused together. Obviously you do not want any brain injury, so that's why this the skeleton, the skull of your body protects your brain. And then in terms of movement, the skeleton bends at different joints. So these are joints in the body. You've got different joints, and it's at the joints where the skeleton bends. And it also helps you to move around. Obviously this is a pretend skeleton, it's not a real human being. The skeleton also makes red blood cells. So in your bones, especially the femur in your thighs and the long part of your arms, they contain soft tissue known as bone marrow, and these produce white and red blood cells. The red blood cells obviously help carry oxygen around your body, and the white blood cells help protect against infection. And then after this, we're going to look at the next couple of lessons at how muscles attach to the bone to allow you to move properly. And we're also going to look more at joints.
Bye.
Why do we need a skeleton? The skeleton has four main functions. Number one, to support the body. 2, to protect vital organs. 3, to make blood cells. And 4, to help the body move. If we look at each of those four functions in more detail now. So to support the body, the skeleton holds the internal organs in place. The backbone, or the vertebrate, holds the body upright. To protect vital organs, the skull, for example, protects the brain. The rib cage protects our hearts and our lungs. And then number 3, to make blood cells. In the middle of the bones, there is a soft tissue known as the bone marrow. These make the red and white blood cells. The red blood cells help carry oxygen around the body, and the white blood cells protect against infection. And number 4, muscles are attached to the bones. So when a muscle pulls on a bone, it causes it to move. The skeleton moves at the joints. We've looked at 4 reasons why we need a skeleton. There are anagrams coming up on the following slides. See if you can work them out. You can pause the video at this point and see whether you can get the answer right. So well done if you got the answer support. Next one is protection. Movement. This is an easy one. And blood. Okay, I've got a quick quiz which I would like you guys to have a go at. So the first one is, name the tissue that makes red and white blood cells. How many bones does an adult skeleton have? The skeleton has 5 main functions, true or false? Where would you find the femur, the arm or leg? Your backbone protects your spinal cord, true or false? What is the name of the tissue that allows your skeleton to move? One of the functions of the skeleton is to protect vital organs. Is this true or false? The name of the organ found in the skull is called what? You do not need to submit this to any of us. Just write down your answers, and on the next slide will come up the correct answers and see how many you get right. Okay, so name the tissue that makes red and white blood cells. Bone marrow. How many bones does an adult skeleton have? 206. The skeleton has 5 main functions. That's false. Where would you find the femur and the leg? That is in your thighs. Your backbone protects your spinal cord. It's true. The name of the tissue that allows the skeleton to move. Muscles. One of the functions of the skeleton is to protect vital organs. That's true. The name of the organ found in the skull is called the brain. If you got 5 or more, or 4 or more, well done. If you got less than half right, you need to go back and watch the video again. Till next time, bye.